Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Good evening, messenger.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
You convinced us that you were the last messenger.
Allahu Akbar.
How many other bastard children do you have?
Barbershop Conversations, man. I appreciate you guys coming in, and don't forget to click the link in the bio to the award-winning film. You just saw the trailer, 9 Wives, and man, we got an important interview today, and I fell upon this interview just in casual conversation. And Felicia, welcome to the Barbershop.
Hey, Fred, thank you.
Oh, no, not a problem, not a problem. And so you and I were having a casual conversation about R. Kelly
Right.
last week, and unbeknownst to me that you and I was asking you about the R. Kelly case, and unbeknownst to me, you have like a you have information about the history of R. Kelly and where it may have you. But you were raised in Chicago, correct?
Yep, from Chicago, raised there.
And
So very familiar with R. Kelly, which I'm sure a lot of girls in my age group who were, around during that time did.
Wow. So before we get into R. Kelly would be very noticeably around like young girls, would you say?
Oh yeah, I mean you pretty much can. So my interaction with him started before high school age, because of being friends with one of the girls that he was with. But if you, like any of my friends, like by high school, he was hanging out at the high schools, he was around. Yeah, they definitely were propositioned by him. Absolutely. Plenty of friends that went through that.
And just to make it more legit, you played basketball with him as well, correct?
Yeah, so I actually met him first. Of course, I was a huge fan, and my dad played ball with him at this place in Chicago called Illinois Athletic Center. And they played ball together, and I would go play ball with my dad, and that's how I originally met him. I would say this was about 7th grade.
7th grade. And was it and was it pretty regular?
It was on Sundays. I would go on Sundays, yeah. And I would say, maybe a couple times a month he would be there on a Sunday at the gym.
And how would the interactions between you and R. Kelly be at the basketball court or even outside?
In all honesty, I never had nothing that felt weird or a weird interaction with him. Obviously, I was there with my dad. It was mostly guys at the gym. There were very few girls up there playing ball. Alliyah was with him a couple times. I had no idea, how young she was. I mean, I was young, so I didn't pay attention to those things. But nothing, just a normal interaction. He signed autographs for me. He, was very normal. Actually, all of my interaction with him, I later on interacted with him. He would be at my basketball games because the person that I'm referring to is the one from the video. Everyone knows about the video. Everyone saw it. So that was who I played ball with. That was who I was friends with. And to me, once I became friends with her and we started playing ball together. We were on the same AAU teams. We were on the same junior high team, summer league, all of that together. And he was known to us as her godfather. And that's all we knew him as. And her parents were around. Her parents were at the games. He was at the games. Sparkle was at the games. I mean, they were around all the time. And there were birthday parties that he threw at Hoops, his gym. I don't know, you know, he had opened the gym in Chicago. He would have parties for her. So we had no idea about anything until, and I guess, you know, I was never approached by him or anything, like I said, inappropriate ever. And I don't know if that was because I was friends with her. So my only interaction with him at that point was with her. Yeah, we had no idea until the tape came out.
Wow.
And by this time I believe we were like 16. We were in high school. We were at separate high schools, and the tape went around. I was at a private high school, and the tape went around to our public high school where we lived. And after school one day, and I was up there, and it got exposed, right? And she was hysterical, and everyone had seen the tape, and anyone who knew her knew it was her. There was no denying it was her. And also no denying that you knew how old she was, because she was actually, I think she was a year younger than me. So I knew exactly how old she was, even if the tape was that year, which it was obviously was about 2 years old at this point, but it had just gotten, you know, kind of put out there. Yeah. And that was our first time even knowing that anything was going on. We just thought he was her godfather. He was always around. She was always hanging out with him. I mean, us as young girls, we weren't thinking about it. I mean, we were playing ball. We were, you know, enjoying the pizza party, you know, the parties he put on. I mean, we just had no idea that was going on with her, especially when, I think the biggest shocker to me was when it came out, I was like, her parents were around. They were very much at all of our games, and he was there, and they were enjoying that lifestyle, is how I see it. And so that was what shocked me at first, was like, did her parents know? Because they were part of his like crew. So how could they not? And so I think that was kind of like, even for me and my other teammates and other girls who knew her, that was kind of like our thing, was we were so shocked because, you know, you look at your parents as the people who are supposed to protect you, right? In most cases. And so it was kind of like, wow, were they being taken care of? Is that why it was not something that how could they not know? So, yeah.
And now that you look back on it, do you think the parents were complicit or was?
I think so. And it's really sick to think about it like that, you know? But I think so. I just feel like there's certain things that an adult, I don't care if it's a parent or not, anyone that was around that was an adult, you don't allow, especially if it is your child. So being alone with him, with a grown man, I mean, I feel they were complicit. I feel like they were definitely being taken care of, and they were enjoying that lifestyle. There's no, I feel like, to me, there's no question that they didn't know what was going on.
Now, when you say it was together, so R. Kelly would literally be sitting like in their family group at basketball games?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
They would be together.
And Sparkle and
Sparkle, and she had I don't know if it was her niece or her daughter. There was another girl who was older than us, really pretty girl. I just remember, you know, you see a girl, we were younger. She was a little bit older than us. She may have been like 16 when we were like 14. She may have been like 16, 17. She was around a lot. And yeah, so the parents were with them. And I believe, so I want to say that her dad, the girl's dad, I don't say her name, even though probably everyone knows her name. Her dad was like worked for him. He was either like a producer or he did something in the music industry. And I think it was like I think I was in 8th grade. She was probably in 7th grade when R. Kelly started like a group with them, and they came to the school. So her dad was like in the music industry. So they started like a little teeny bopper group, and they like one of those magazines came to the school, and they did like photos with us for like, you know, picturing her like at school, her day or whatever. But yeah, so I just don't see how her parents didn't know.
Wow. And
they'd have to be totally naive.
Right. And how were the interactions? Did you have interactions with her parents?
I had interactions with her parents. It was a long time ago, so I don't remember anything like unusual about them. But I do remember mostly her dad being at the games normally, and maybe her mom a few times. But I mostly remember her dad because, like I said, he was like managing them, her group, and that kind of stuff.
Do you remember the name of the group?
I don't remember the name of the group. God, I had that magazine for years, but of course it's been so long. I don't remember the name of the group. No, I probably could Google it. Okay. But yeah, I don't remember the name.
And how was the conversation? Did you have like conversations with her about R. Kelly being her godfather?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's how she introduced him. That's how he was presented to us. That's how like any parties or things that she would have, it was her godfather that, you know. So that's how we knew him as her godfather.
And obviously, and I'll say, and obviously you're in the 7th grade, so you just accept it for what it is.
Exactly. I mean, literally, I don't know if you saw the Surviving R. Kelly. There was at least one of my teammates did an interview on there. One of our teammates, and she was the same way. You know, we had no completely clueless that anything was going on until that tape came out. And of course, we knew it was her because we knew what she looked like, even though it didn't necessarily have the greatest lighting, we knew it was her. When you spend so much time with someone, you know, their build, their body, we knew it was her. And then also when I spoke to her after it came out, when I saw her for the first time after it went around the high school that she was at, and then we knew then, we knew from one, she was crying and pretty hysterical about it being, out. And then later on, a little while after that, with her telling us that she was going to be leaving, I think she was going to London. She was going to Europe somewhere for a while, her and her parents, her family, whatever, because this was when it was like fresh, right? This is before, any charges. This is just the fact that the tape had been circulating, at least all over Chicago. I don't know about anywhere else. And so that let us know, okay, it was her. We knew it was her, beyond the fact that we knew just from seeing it.
And was there dialogue between you and her, or long dialogue, or anything that you remember?
There wasn't, other than, like I told you, hysterical to the point of there was no conversation. And then, because you got, like, at this point, the tape had come out, we're up at the school, it's the biggest news, everyone's talking about it, everyone's seen the tape. But not everyone knows it's hers yet.
Gotcha.
So for her, she was literally like hysterical, like someone had died, hysterical.
Wow.
And so there wasn't conversation. She obviously knew that we knew it was her because we knew her.
Yeah, your teammates.
Yeah. So, but then once it became, more of the conversation was exactly who it was, the person's name. Then I believe the first thing that happened was she switched schools. And then after that, the next time I saw her in person and talked to her, it was literally just about her and her family leaving the country.
Mm. And that's the extent of the conversation, her and her sister.
And that was pretty much it, her telling us that she was leaving, and you know, that was really it. I mean, it wasn't even like, you know, it wasn't like a conversation I have today with someone who I knew that had happened to, because we were young. You just didn't,
Right.
you know, what do you say to someone like that, you know,
Right.
at that age?
Sure. Absolutely.
So it wasn't anything like me consoling her, or, you know, asking a lot of questions. It was what it was. It was just like, we were shocked.
Right. Right.
And I think that was the only emotion that we expressed to her, was just like, we didn't know.
Right.
Like, we had no, you know, like, we didn't know. And then also we were at an age where, you know, girls were sleeping with people. You know, it's high school now. And so you didn't necessarily think of it as being, you didn't think of it as being rape at that age, at that time. You know, that wasn't our first thought. Our first thought was, you know, our first thought was she was only 14. Like, that's what we're thinking, right? Because this is now a few years later. So it's like, dang, she was only 14 when this happened. And again, how did her parents not know? Because we knew their close involvement with him. So there wasn't like, you know, like what I would say to her today had I known that was going on.
Right. So at this present time, you are 17 and she's 16.
Right.
And the incident happened when she was 14.
She was 14 on that tape.
Wow. And have you seen her since, or her mom and dad since high school?
I have not. I've come across a Facebook photo of her a few years ago. She looks great, beautiful. And I believe her mom was in the photo, but I have not seen them since. I don't even know. Actually, I believe they are back in Chicago. I did hear that they were back in Chicago. I believe her brother had started working for R. Kelly.
No.
Since then. So, I mean, those are other signs that there was complicitness within the family. Obviously, he don't work for him anymore, but he did come to work for him years later after that incident.
That's awful. That's awful that the parents are rearing their kids to do. Man, no,
and you know what's crazy? I feel like some of those other girls' parents did the same thing. And some of them made those accusations, right? Their parents knew, their parents were giving money, their parents. I believe it's true, because what I witnessed was parents being complicit.
So you think it was more girls on your team?
No. I'm saying,
on the movie. On the movie.
Yeah. More of those girls that have, you know, things have come out and they said the parents knew. I believe it. So yeah, sad.
Now you mentioned Sparkle, because Sparkle was in Surviving R. Kelly as well, and she claims that her niece or something was with R. Kelly.
To be honest, I didn't watch the thing. I mean, I didn't watch it. I saw highlights. That's how I saw my teammate. Old teammate was on there. But yeah, I did see a clip of Sparkle. But yeah, it was her niece. I remember her niece. I remember her being at a few of our games or different things that like were shown at parties and stuff.
Okay. Now you mentioned Alliyah used to be at your basketball on Sundays.
She used to be at the gym. Yeah, I see her at the gym a few times.
How was their interaction? Was it like husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, or was it like?
It was like boyfriend and girlfriend. To me, from my standpoint of, you know. And again, I didn't even know how old she was, because I was young, so I wasn't even, you know, paying attention to that.
Wow.
I just didn't even think about it. But yeah, it was that, to me, that's what it seemed like that was his girl.
Wow.
From a young, you know, girl's standpoint. That's what I saw.
Now,
one, because it was the rest of the people with them were mostly male.
mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like it was like a group of girls and a group, you know, it was normally she was the only girl.
Mm.
And it was mostly, you know, like, you know, he'd bring his crew up there.
Mm.
Yeah.
How many times would you say you've seen her at the basketball court?
Up there, probably, from what I remember, probably about 4 or 5 times. They got kicked out shortly after. Mm-hmm. So he was no longer allowed up there.
Why did he get kicked out, by the way?
Because I'd have to ask my dad the exact reason if he remembers, but it was something about he brought all these people with him, right? Every time he came, and the gym had rules.
Gotcha.
You know, it was like a private club, and so they were asked to leave. And he got into an argument with the person that worked there because he refused to make his people who weren't even playing ball, they were just hanging out inside, leave. And so he was asked to not come back to the club.
Right. How would you view him as in terms of his personality? Was he a quiet person? Was he an introvert, extra? What? How would you?
He was, to me, he was an introvert. He was very quiet. You know, like I met Michael Jordan up there too, playing ball with my dad, and it was a very different type of person. You know, Jordan was very friendly. He took, you know, photos with me. He joked around about my dad's age. R. Kelly was, he called my dad old man too, but he was very much more of like an introvert, I would say, from what I picked up from him. And maybe like a little bit more standoffish. And I don't know if that's just because of, you know, him because of who he thought he was, or not. I don't know, but he wasn't like, I would say, a friendly, you know, like chill kind of person. No, more reserved.
Yeah. Now, when you mentioned, just for clarification purposes, you said Alliyah and R. Kelly was like boyfriend, girlfriend, and so like holding hands, kissing, you know.
Yeah, they looked like a couple to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
again, to me, I didn't even, you know, I didn't even think.
Did you know who Alliyah was at the time, or did you find out after?
I found out who she was after the first time I saw her.
Gotcha.
Because I think that I think a video came out or something, but the first time I saw her, no, I had no idea who it was.
Did you see her parents? Because there's some people say that her parents were complicit as well.
I never saw her parents. No. Okay. Like I said, the people that came with him to the gym were all men, and then it was her. So I never saw. I mean, maybe it could have been a dad. I don't know, but I never like saw like oh, those are her parents, like I did with the other girl.
Gotcha. So did R. Kelly, did he recognize you from the basketball court with your dad to you playing on the basketball team with the girl in question? Okay.
He recognized me, I know, because he mentioned my dad being old man. That's what they called my dad at the gym because he was always the oldest. So he mentioned that. So I know that he knew who, you know, who I was, or that he recognized meeting me. You know, seeing me at the gym.
So now that you see this trial going on, it's no question in your mind that he would sleep with underage girls just based off of what you saw.
No question at all. And I know girls in Chicago that more of them that slept with him at an older age, you know, still underage, under 18, but not, you know, 13 and 14. But yeah, no question in my mind that he did it. The you know, the things I hear about, like him keeping them hot, you know, locked in the rooms and stuff like that. That, of course, I have no, you know, I don't know if that stuff's true or not.
Right.
But I know that he for sure slept with underage girls.
Wow. Did you see any other women besides Alliyah to substantiate
No.
your claims, or it was just Alliyah and his guys and that was it?
Yeah, I never saw any other. I specifically remember her because she was the only girl. Remember, I was typically the only other girl there. Every now and then there would be, you know, some college, female college players who would be there playing. But for the most part, I was normally the only girl up there with the guys. So
you hear Kennedy? You got to be quiet, okay?
no.
I don't want to put her in this video, but go get your blankie and come back. Go get your blankie. And so, yeah, that's pretty astounding. That yeah, you're next, by the way, as it pertains to this. No, not the R. Kelly, but Kennedy crying and all that. But
I know, right?
Yeah, right. But yeah, man, this is some heavy stuff, man. And it's funny how like you don't know somebody until you know somebody, you know, especially as it pertains to your story and me just randomly asking you because you're from Chicago. Yeah, because you're from Chicago. Okay, you got to sit down right there, Kiki. Sit down right there. I'll be done in a second. And so, yeah, I just want to say thank you for your time. And no problem. And
I hope that you know, he gets what he
deserves, right?
What deserves. I mean, I don't even know what you deserve for what you did, but if it's enough, but yeah.
Right. And I appreciate you coming on spontaneously. Thank you so much.
I know.
All right.
No problem.
And thank you for always supporting too as well. So thank you. And let me attend to Kennedy. She wants my attention. She's fake crying now. Appreciate you for.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. As you can see, I got to go, but don't forget, I appreciate Felicia coming on and sharing her story, her firsthand accounts of R. Kelly. And like I said, it happened by accident, you know. So I'm gonna get out of here and attend to Kennedy. And don't forget to click the link. You guys saw the trail at the beginning of the film, and 9 Wives, the award-winning film. And how you doing, beautiful? And see how important a father-daughter relationship is, man. Don't sell that out for nothing, especially as it pertains to this R. Kelly interview. Don't ever sell your kids short, man. You know what I mean? You're supposed to protect and provide for them as a man. So Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.